Hi everyone, Shai here. I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome to another new video. We all love indulging in our favorite snacks and treats, trusting they're made with care and quality. But what if you knew the surprising or downright shocking secrets behind how they're actually made? From unexpected ingredients to eyebrow-raising processes, big food brands have more to reveal than you might think. Get ready to uncover the truth about your favorite foods and how they end up on your plate. You might never see them the same way again. So, here are some of the famous products you never knew how they are made. Number 1. You grab some oranges, squeeze them, and drink them. That's it. You might think that big corporations do the same when making their orange juice, but on a much larger scale. But they don't, at least the majority of them don't. Sure, some orange juice manufacturers actually use oranges, so that's a good start, but that's not always all you'll find in your average bottle or carton. Many companies will store their orange juice in huge vats and remove all the oxygen to help it last longer. Without oxygen, it won't spoil for at least a year. But when you remove the oxygen, you're also removing the actual orange flavor. So, what do? They add flavor packs. Flavor packs are made from chemicals used in orange essence and oils, the same flavor packs you might find used in perfumes. Basically, they're artificial flavors to make your orange juice taste like orange juice again. So, if you have an orange treat, at least you'll know that the orange juice you drink is actually orange and nothing else. Number 2. Canned tomatoes. Look, I'll be the first to admit that I've got more than a few cans of tomatoes in my pantry. They're so convenient for pasta dishes, but what you're about to learn will probably have you catapulting them into the trash. And it actually has nothing to do with the tomatoes, they're just the innocent victim in all this. It's all about the packaging. Many cans have a resin that's believed to leach the toxic chemical known as bisphenol, a BPA, into the food the can contains. And as tomatoes are so acidic, the rate of it leaching into the food can be much faster. Many health problems can be linked to BPA chemical exposure, such as hormonal disruption, malformation of organs, sperm defects, and an increased rate of mental disabilities. The Centers for Disease Control also conducted a survey that found detectable levels of BPA in around 93% of urine samples from people aged 6 and over. Most experts don't seem to think there would be enough BPA in the average can food to increase the risk of disease, but it's definitely food for thought. It might be worth preserving your own tomatoes and using glass jars instead. Number 3. Worcestershire Sauce. The old Worcestershire sauce, or if you can speak the English language perfectly, Worcestershire sauce. Like, clearly, I can't speak the English language perfectly. It's a favorite, that's for sure. You can use it in stir-fries, marinades, sauces, meat dishes, salads, the list goes on. I love it on burgers. There's nearly nothing it doesn't taste nice with, except for desserts, of course. But the way it's made, at least the Lee & Perrins variety, will surprise you, or it won't. I don't know. Lee & Perrins have been making this classic sauce for nearly 2 centuries. Chemists John Wiley Lee and William Henry Perrins started dabbling in the sauce's creation in 1835, and it was an utter failure. It tasted awful, so they left their sauce in their basement, left it alone, and returned to it a few years later. They tasted it again, and surprisingly, it tasted good, almost like the aging process had done it well. That was the secret to their success, letting the ingredients mature, such as molasses, malt vinegar, spirit vinegar, garlic, red onions, anchovies, and tamarind. Even today, they follow a similar process. Their Worcestershire sauce ingredients sit maturing in barrels for several months until they are used in the actual sauce. Whole garlic cloves will sit to pickle in malt vinegar for a year and a half, while whole red onions will pickle for 9 or 10 months. Before moving on to the next point, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you all to my merchandise. You can support my content by getting your favorite products from my store or by simply joining my channel. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 4. Pringles. You might think the most shocking thing about your average can of Pringles is that you can never seem to fit your fist in the can to grab the last few chips. But the real shocking thing is just how bad they are for you and how they're not even really potato chips. The Pringles company wanted to avoid paying taxes for luxury foods, so they argued that the potato content of their chips was so low that they technically weren't potato chips. Instead, they are made out of rice, wheat, corn, and potato flakes. The slurry mixture is then pressed into a shape, rolled into a sheet, and cut into the shapes that fit so beautifully inside that frustratingly narrow tube. Once they're cut, they're curved, put into boiling oil, dried, and sprayed with powdered flavors. Yeah, nothing about any of that screams wholesome potato chip. They even stack together. And then there are the cancer-causing chemicals. Sorry, what? Yeah, I mean, it's not actually intentionally added, but it's there nonetheless. Acrylamide is a cancer-causing chemical that's created when foods rich in carbohydrates are fried, baked, roasted, or toasted at high temperatures. Many foods, not just potatoes, contain acrylamide when cooked at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or above. So, you'll find it in potato chips and French fries, but also in various processed snacks, roasted breakfast cereals, bread crusts, etc. So, not being potatoes is the least of your worries when eating Pringles. Number 5. Canned mushrooms. We all eat bugs. Most of us eat them unintentionally, but we eat them all the same. The FDA has always said that we should allow for at least a few of them in our packaged foods, but most of us are eating up to 2 pounds a year of bugs like mites, maggots, and FLIs. But you'll probably never buy a can of cherries or mushrooms again when you learn just how many bugs can be present within them. According to the FDA, 5% of canned maraschino cherries in brine can be contaminated by maggots. Your average canned fruit juice product can also have at least 1 maggot for every 250 milliliters of juice. That's not that much juice. And then there are canned mushrooms. They're convenient, kind of tasty, and cheap, but there are also at least 20 or more maggots in any can of any size per 100 grams. So, in every 3.5-ounce can of mushrooms, there might be up to 19 maggots and 74 mites. The good news is that it's unlikely to be harmful for you to eat these bugs. Maggots are considered to be safe to eat, and some people even weirdly call them a superfood. Number 6. Bacon. Alright, look, I'm not gonna ruin bacon for you. Okay, I lied. I totally am. It's really not that good for you, and deep down you know that. Bacon is traditionally made from pork and goes through a curing process involving being soaked in nitrates, salt, and sometimes sugar. Sometimes it's also smoked after being cured. Both curing and smoking are preservation methods and also ensure bacon keeps its coloring and taste, but of course, it makes the bacon high in salt. Since salt is used in the curing process, when you eat food high in salt, you might be at an increased risk of stomach cancer and high blood pressure. Bacon is also high in fat, but everything in moderation. Am I right? The real problem lies in the additives from the processing, such as nitrites and nitrates. When they're cooked at high heat, they form nitrosamine compounds, which are carcinogens. Fortunately, some bacon processors now add ascorbic acid and vitamin C, both of which might reduce the nitrosamine content. But that's not gonna take all the joy out of bacon. It contains high-quality animal protein, a whole heap of vitamins like B1, B2, and B12, selenium, phosphorus, potassium, iron, zinc, and magnesium. Number 7. Beer. This is absolutely wild, but your beer might contain fish. Sure, it also includes all those common ingredients like hops, water, barley, and malt, but you probably wouldn't see fish swim bladder on your average beer bottle. It has a fancier name, isinglass, but it's still a piece of fish, and it's been used in beer creation since the 19th century. Beer brewers use the swim bladder to clarify the beer. It doesn't normally change the flavor or composition of the beer all that much, but it ensures that it's clear, brightly colored, and attractive for beer drinkers. Without it, the beer might be a little murky, but this means that beer made by brewers who use isinglass is not vegan-friendly, and even non-vegans are bound to be a little creeped out to learn that their favorite beer is being filtered through a dead fish. The good news is that breweries are changing their ways. Many are now steering away from fining agents, and some are coming up with less fishy alternatives. So, that was all for today. I hope you have watched the video up to this timestamp. Make sure to press the like button if it amazed you. Press the subscribe button if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, as it's totally free. You can follow me on all social media platforms. All links are given in the description. You can also watch other cool stuff. The playlist link is also mentioned in the description. I will catch you up soon in the next video. Till then, peace out.